We're talking AI. Questions, comments, AI. Let's talk about it. AI and you. Do you think it's a lot of hype? Think all this AI talk is just a lot of hype? It's going to go to the way of mood rings and pet rocks. What's your thought? Old fear, that myth machine stealing every gift. I laugh, lean in, ask better questions, start again. Prompt dreams, wild mind, turn one spark to 1,000. Questions, comments, drop them in chat. Let's have a conversation. Upload the future, let it run through us. I'm staying relevant, writing every update, every rush, full of abundance coming. Yeah, I can feel that flood. Elon, Sam and Dario say the wave is made of us. I'm not late, I'm early, right place, right time, dirty. I grow with the graph, I glow. AI, is it your friend or is it your enemy? That's the question. We share, we rise, we dare. Upload the future, let it run through us. My name is Joe. You can call me Solutions Joe. Been in the tech industry for nearly 30 years. I've seen a lot over those 30 years. Drop your comments, drop your questions. Sorry. Let's have a conversation. The number one question you should be asking me, to be honest, it's pretty simple. It's kind of why I started doing these streams. My goal is to try to help some people who are feeling the pressure in their current job roles, okay, to use AI. Because most companies, I would say, have invested in AI one way or the other. Welcome, Jeffrey. So when they have invested in AI, right, they're expecting you as the employee to use it. Unfortunately, as I mentioned before, they're not giving you that roadmap. They're not giving you those that manual in terms of how to use it. They're looking to you to tell them, how are you using AI? How are you using these, expensive AI tools that we've given you, right? Because somebody told us we should buy them, so we bought them or subscribed to them. So tell me, right? Tell me, meaning your manager, how can you use these? How are you using these? Hey, Slick, welcome. So ask your questions. Let's see if I can give you some insight. If I can help one person, just one person, keep their job or stand out in their job, that's what I'm here for. So we are streaming on multiple platforms. We're streaming TikTok and YouTube and X. Drop your comments, drop your chat, and I will try to help you out. I should be able to see your chats across all of the different platforms at this point in time. So again, my name is Joe, Solutions Architect. Where are you from? What kind of job role do you currently have? Share it with me and let me know. Has your company made a significant investment into AI? In other words, have they gone out and subscribed to Microsoft Copilot? Have they gone out and subscribed to perhaps OpenAI's platform or one of the other platforms? And have they put that in front of you and said, here you go, you asked for AI, so therefore I'm giving you some AI and we're expecting you to use it. What are you doing with it? And is your management checking in with you and asking you, how are you using AI? And is it benefiting you? Explain it to us. It's really that confusing. So I say I got a question. Welcome, welcome, Seabass. Tell me something if you wish you knew when you were younger. Oh, what? That's a good question, and you're welcome to ask me any questions you want. They can be AI related, or they can be more general. I've often thought about that. If what would I wish I knew when I was younger that I know now? I think the one thing is that I would have made very strategic types of decisions in terms of the people I associated with, who I hung out with, the people I associated with, the communities I was involved with or surrounded myself with. And don't misunderstand me. I grew up and had a lovely life, and I was a member of a fraternity in college and graduated university. And in general, I don't have any regrets from it. But I have come to understand much more so. I mean, I understood it to some extent, but I understand it more now than anything else, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. And the only way you can say who you know in the sense of really benefiting you is to put yourself into those types of situations. So completely off topic question, that's fine. Happy to answer it. And here's the one thing that I would even throw out there for somebody in terms of whether this resonates with you or not. And that is, why would somebody spend, as an example, I live in Chicago, the city of Chicago, you can see it behind me, okay? Why would somebody spend, let's say, $150 a month on a gym, right? Where they could go and spend $19 on a gym or even $15 on a gym, right? They both have workout facilities. They both have weights and cardio equipment and general things that people might need. But why would one person spend more than the other in terms of that being so significant? And I'm not talking about the person who's got a lot of money and who can afford something like that. I'm talking about a younger person who may see it as a gateway to meeting people that could help them out later in life or within their career. And that's actually something that didn't really resonate with me until really within the last couple of years. I was, for some reason, giving that some thought. So think about that. It's not what you know, it's who you know is a very, very true statement. But one of the ways to know better people is to then go and put yourself in situations in which you are going to meet these other people. And I shouldn't use the word better. It should be meeting people that have a level of accomplishment that is something that you aspire to, right? And if you set yourself up in that type of situation, your opportunity to then kind of climb up that ladder definitely increases. So hopefully that was somewhat interesting to somebody out there. Again, welcome. We are streaming across multiple platforms. And I am mainly discussing AI and how it can be implemented within your current job role. So if you got questions or comments on that, please drop them into chat, and I'm happy to give you an answer. If you've got some kind of off-the-wall question about myself, feel free to drop it in. Happy to. How about a little background music? By the way, the background music is compliments of AI. If you are an artist or a creative and you like to create music, you should check out Sonono. This is not a paid endorsement, but their platform I played around with maybe a year and a half ago. Just recently started playing around with it again because I wanted some background music I didn't have to worry about licensing for the stream. And so I decided to go out and create my own, and the quality of the music that they're producing through their platform now is again pretty amazing. This is all what you're hearing and what you're feeling in terms of the music and even the vocals. It's all out of AI. I see another question. Do you think AI will be the future for us? Absolutely. I think so AI is a train, right? It's a train that has headed down the tracks, and there is absolutely no stopping it. People talk about the investment. So let me back up for a moment. Here's a really interesting, so Sebastian, thanks for the question, really appreciate it. Here's an interesting thing related to that question you're asking, right? I just heard an interview with Dario, who is one of the, I think he's the CEO of Anthropic, which is Claude, the Claude Code model, along with some of the other aspects of the Anthropic models that they have. But anyways, my point being is, in a recent conversation, a recent interview with him, he believes from his own experience and his own conversations, that still only a very small percentage of people realize where we are at with AI. And he puts it at about 5%, meaning only about 5% of the people in the world really understand where we are at with AI. And, it's hard not to speak hyperbolic about AI. Again, I'm a 30-year tech veteran, solutions architect, been doing this, like I said, for nearly 30 years. I have never experienced anything like this in my lifetime. And when I watch the interviews with the tech CEOs and the smartest people in the room when it comes to tech, and them talking about exactly what I am seeing, in the sense that they have never seen this type of advancements in a technology in their entire lifetimes. We've never experienced this in our entire lifetimes. The rapid advancements are insane. That comes with a lot of risk, and I'm not going to argue that. But it also comes with potentially a lot of rewards as well. And what I'm trying to do, honestly, with streaming and some of the things I'm doing in terms of my social media platforms these days, is I'm trying to kind of build a community around this. And I know a lot of others are as well, but I'll be honest, I'm not a bullshitter, okay? I'm not going to bullshit anybody into thinking that, you can vibe code anything. So I'm currently working on some software myself within the scope of my day-to-day job. And what I do is something called prompt-led development, okay, PLD. And there's nothing vibe about it. But can I accomplish something that I wasn't able to accomplish, say, just 6 months ago with AI? Absolutely. And it's mind-blowing. So I see Godlick Singh, welcome Francisco. I do not want anything to do with AI. It's evil. And that is a very real kind of feeling and opinion, and it's valid, absolutely valid. So I hear you. I hear that it's. I hear your feelings, and I definitely acknowledge them. And I think people have a choice, and that choice is either going to be to embrace it and try to ride that wave, if you will, right? Ride that wave as we travel through this, or they're going to be caught underneath that wave, right? And what I'm trying to do, not only with my own job, even though I work in tech, but also within, just generally speaking, with the community, is trying to get people to ride that wave, okay? Because what's going to happen, and what has already happened, are thousands of people are going to be laid off. But the ones who are going to have an opportunity to keep their jobs are going to be the ones that management identify who have embraced AI, okay, have increased their productivity at work, and who can now support the responsibilities that maybe were done by 10 people, but now can be done by a single person embracing AI. Mark Zuckerberg made this comment himself, matter of fact. He made this comment himself on his, welcome Zeke, nice to see you again. A comment that he made on his earnings call was that they're able to accomplish, one smart person with using AI is able to accomplish nearly what a 100-person team was accomplishing in terms of productivity. Now that's frightening, okay? That is really, really frightening. And that has definite, genuine impacts on, what we do moving forward. And there's going to have to be discussions with the government, not only the United States government, but also governments worldwide, on things like UBI, which is Universal Basic Income. And again, if you listen to some of the smartest people in the room, the Sam Altmans, the Darios, right, they have been talking about UBI for literally the last 2 years. They saw this coming. They see it coming. So valid concerns. What investments should I start investing in AI or not for the future? So if you're referring to like investments in terms of dollar investments, or like stock investments, things of that nature, I mean, for me, and again, this is not financial advice, but I do invest in NVIDIA. But what I would say is this, is that when it comes to, if you're trying to invest again and take advantage of, the financial upside, if you will, of AI, there's an old concept. You can either go out and try to mine the gold yourself, right? Or you can invest in those who are selling the picks and the shovels to mine the gold, right? That's an old kind of saying or analogy that goes back to, the gold rush days. So I look at, in terms of investments, of investing in those who are selling the picks and the shovels, which for me are, the ones who are supporting really the compute aspect of AI. So, but as far as investing in terms of investing in yourself for your job, the simplest thing you can do, if you have not done so. So if there's anybody who's listening to this or watching me, and you have not yet gone out to play with either ChatGPT or Gemini. So Gemini is Google, ChatGPT is OpenAI. You've got Microsoft's Copilot now as well. If you haven't gone out and at least started to play with these things, okay, then you are already behind the 8 ball. But what I would say is, based upon some of the things I just recently heard, again, with the interview with Dario from Anthropic, is perhaps you're not behind the 8 ball, because only about 5% of the people in the world really understand the power of AI that's been unleashed even up to today. So I'd go out there and I'd start playing with them. Now, once you start playing with it, you may find that you think it's not much more than a Google search, okay? However, that is about as far from the truth as you can get, okay? So, and the reason I say that is that you first need to just kind of get your hands dirty a little bit, play around with it, ask some questions, see how it interacts with you, because it's not a Google search. And then you need to start with a kind of an AI mentality, or an AI mindset is what I call it, where you start thinking in terms of AI. You start thinking in terms of how do I take a problem, or how do I take a larger task, okay, and break it down into smaller components and or smaller subsets of a problem, and then how can I use AI to assist me in resolving that, right? And that's where your bosses are looking to you for those answers, unfortunately. But if anybody has a specific job role, call it out to me, and I'm happy to try to give you some more concrete ideas of how, if I was in your role, how I would potentially utilize it, okay? I can speak in generalities all day long, but if you give me some ideas of your job roles, I can help you definitely a lot more directly. Let's see. What do I think about day trading or trading stocks? So I'm just going to give you my personal experience, and I'm not afraid. And I'm not afraid of saying this. So first of all, about 80 to 85% or more, in general, people lose money in the stock market. That you can go look it up. It's a very well known percentage. Those who tend to make money in the stock market are those who are of the buy and hold nature, right? Buy and hold for some longer period of time. Now, I can tell you personally myself, and this is me just sharing my personal story. Once upon a time, I had the dream of being a day trader. Well, let's just say didn't work out so well, lost a lot of money, okay? And you will find in a day trading scenario, what you are up against, okay, are not other human beings, but you're up against complex algorithms that these large, very large funds utilize and deploy. And the way they deploy them, and you can go out and you can search some of this stuff out if you want. The way they deploy them is they deploy them in such a way that milliseconds for them makes a difference in terms of trade execution on the algorithms. And so when you're out there day trading, you're trading literally against these algorithms. Excuse me. And so it's very, very difficult to win. The other problem with day trading is that, you know, there are tons of people out there who want to make you believe that, you know, they have the answer. They have the secret sauce. All you got to do is pay them $100 or $300 a month. And trust me, I followed some of those people. I followed some of those people, and I even traded along with them. But believe it or not, even if you are trading along with somebody who looks like they are successful, you can literally be unsuccessful. And I know that might sound crazy, but it is true. And because when it comes to day trading, the stock market, milliseconds makes a difference. And the person you're watching, their trade versus the trade you're making, if it's off a few milliseconds, it can be a difference between a profit and a loss. So again, definitely not financial advice. That's all decisions you have to make for yourself. I'm simply sharing my personal experience with day trading, which again didn't go so well. So I moved into more long-term investments, maybe some swing trades here and there. I think though, I think utilizing AI in terms of doing the analysis of a particular company you might be interested in can be extremely useful. Because again, this goes back to a statement I made earlier. People come in and out of the live stream, and I understand that. So one of the big things that people are missing when it comes to the benefits of AI is going to be the democratization, and it sounds like a big word, but it's not, okay? It's going to be the democratization of both knowledge and skills that have been gatekept for decades, or since the beginning of time, if you will, right? So what do I mean by that? So if you have got all the world's knowledge, if you will, and expertise available to you at a keyboard, chatting with a large language model, as an example, you no longer are going to be gatekept from getting expert legal advice, right? Where you have to pay either hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars an hour for it, or you can pay a few pennies for your subscription and get just as good, if not better, advice. Okay. Same thing for medical, same thing for financial, same thing for investments. It's the democratization of both the skills as well as the knowledge. And that is going to be, you know, that's where the utopia talk comes from like the Elons of the world and others, okay? Because they see this rapidly approaching. If you can imagine everybody in the world, whether they are in the middle of a forest or a jungle, or whether they're sitting in New York City, having access to, in essence, the same level of knowledge and skills at their fingertips, right? Because you can get it through your phone. That opens up the possibilities in terms of the world that, again, we just never seen or heard before. So this is where a lot of the, you know, interesting concepts are coming from and thoughts are coming from. Long-term investment. Again, if we're talking about dollar investments, I mean, you know, I don't want to give financial advice specifically. I can just speak about my situation. My situation, I invest in those picks and shovels as related to supporting AI, right? Whether it's the NVIDIA or whether it's the utility companies who are going to supply the energy, whether it's the other semiconductor companies out there building, whether it's GPUs or TPUs or CPUs. Those are the kind of things that I look at. Now, I also am a big proponent of, the tried and true things like some investments in terms of metals and assets and things like that, and things of that nature. Again, that's my personal opinion. It's not financial advice, but that's what I look at. I'm not a fan, even though I think the underlying technology of cryptocurrency, specifically the blockchains, is very interesting and holds a lot of technological promise for various things. I'm not a fan of anything to do with cryptocurrency of any kind. Although I have made money in it, but that was a long time ago. So, what else? Other questions, comments? Drop them in. Let's talk about AI. Let's talk about, if you drop a job role in there, I can give you some ideas of things to consider in terms of utilizing AI. So right now, I've been developing in my own role an application. It's a program slash application. It is not intended to be a product. So I work in a large software company. We often will develop tools for our internal use that we don't sell per se, but we utilize to fulfill different things. I do have another question. Do you think school determines your life? I think school has a big impact, but I also think with the advent of AI, school is going to be they're going to have to rethink. They're going to have to rethink. I think the educational process. This is a little off topic, or maybe it's on topic. I believe the greatest power that an educational institution can impart upon its students is going to be the the power of what I call description. And what I mean by that is, with working with AI, okay, the biggest not roadblock, but the biggest challenge to really getting out of AI what you're trying to get out of it, whether it's developing a program, whether it's getting the right answer, whether it's building something, be it an image, or be it video or film or something of this nature. The biggest challenge is you being able to describe what you want. Now, we can get all philosophical on this and say that for the majority of people in this world, they can talk to you all day long about what they don't want and what they don't like. But when you ask somebody point blank and say to them, what is it that you want? What is it that you like? They they seemingly have a much more difficult time answering that question. And if you're a fan of the universal law of attraction, this is a concept that they talk about as well, right? You have to be able to describe in painful detail what it is that you want. And when you accomplish that, and you can do that, you can be very powerful working with AI, because AI is all about, tell me what you want, tell me what you're expecting from me in painful detail, if you will, and I will create it for you, whether it's a program, whether it's an image, whether it's a video, or any of the other things that may be able for AI to actually create for you, right? So I think that when it comes to school, they're going to have to really focus on this critical thinking piece, as well as the what I might call then the critical description, right? Critically being able to describe what it is that you like or want out of a AI model. So, thanks for the question. I appreciate it. Any other questions, comments? Drop them in. Welcome. So we are streaming on multiple platforms. You have questions, comments regarding AI and you, AI in your job, AI in life, or you have just some general off-the-wall question about me, feel free to drop it into chat. We are streaming on multiple platforms, TikTok, YouTube, X, and I can see chats coming through on all of those. So feel free to drop your question or comment, and I will do my best to answer it. If it's something personal, I may or may not answer it. Depends what it is. Where is everybody from? I am based here in lovely Chicago. You can see the Sears Tower behind me there. It's, what is it, Saturday afternoon. City of Chicago. Questions, comments, drop them in. Anybody want to talk about OpenClaw, the craziness? What do I like about Chicago? You know, I've lived more places than I ever thought I would live in my life, to be perfectly honest. Chicago was my last city that I've moved to. I was born not that far outside of Chicago. My closest family, immediate family, they live out in the burbs. Came back to Chicago, excuse me, about 23 years ago. What do I like about it? It is a big city with lots of culture and lots of great food and lots of things to do. But since we are in the Midwest, the cost of living is much less expensive than when you compare it to the other two big cities, right? So there's basically the top 4 big cities in the United States. Number 1, New York. Number 2 is LA. Number 3 is us here in Chicago. So top 3, but when you compare the cost of living here in Chicago compared to those other 2, it's much lower. And this was especially true when I moved here 23 years ago. 23 years ago, if you were a professional, meaning an educated person working in some type of professional job, you could typically afford to buy property here very easily. Condo, small house. So that was very, very nice and very inviting. Whereas the other 2 places were typically priced pretty far out of line for people, even if they had professional type jobs. So that's what I like about it. A lot of culture, a lot of diversity. Where are you from, Sebas? Hello, Marco. If you have questions, comments related to AI, drop them in. Let's chat. So as I mentioned before, the company that is, I don't know if it's owned by, but it's the former CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey. He started a new company called Block, and Block is a financial tech company, or fintech company as they call it. They just recently announced 40% of their staff is being laid off. So 4,000 people out of 10,000 people, and they are attributing that to AI. Jack Dorsey, who is, I think, a smart person, at least from interviews and stuff I've seen with him, is basically saying that he's come to the realization that the roles those 4,000 people were filling can be filled through agentic and AI functionality, and that the new structure of companies is going to be just that. It's going to be a digital workforce along with a physical or human workforce, but the human workforce is going to be much less than what it is, in terms of pre-AI. So, welcome, David. So, this is something to definitely take into consideration, how to prepare for the coming of AI. And honestly, I'm not trying to scare anybody. That's certainly not my intention. My intention here is really just trying to help a few people get ahead in terms of AI, specifically using it within your current job role. It's a whole lot easier to keep your job than it is to get a new job, and then it's also a whole lot easier to get a new job when you have a job.
Sunset stain on the water that tasted Oak Street toast in a soft white grain. Then I switched to my heels for the downtown rain.
So tell me, how are you going to stay relevant in the age of AI? Are you going to battle against it? Are you hoping it goes the way of mood rings and pet rocks? Or are you going to embrace it and try to keep yourself relevant in the age of AI and keep that job, or even thrive in the age of AI? What is your plan? Let me know. Let's talk about how you can implement AI within your current role and how you can potentially get ahead with it. And also, what your bosses are expecting from you.
It's LA from flex. We ain't slowing up. From the sand to the skyline glowing up. Put on the map, but we feel like one. All these flights touchdown, just is how we run. From the pier to the beach to the club we live. Every block, every bar, that Midwest drive. Don't be hating on the home we love. It's LA from flex, better show some love.
Welcome, welcome. Excuse me. Get questions, comments, drop them in. Are you planning to make AI your friend? Or are you planning to try to avoid AI? Welcome in, Lauren. Got questions, comments regarding AI and how to implement it within your current job role? Let me know. I'll give you some insights. Welcome. So we're streaming on multiple platforms, TikTok, X, and also YouTube. Got questions, comments regarding AI, drop them in chat. I can see them all, and I'm happy to give you a response. TikTok's asking me to make sure that I'm still alive. So, my name is Joe. I'm a solutions architect. Been in the tech industry for nearly 30 years. If you have questions, comments around AI, feel free to drop them in. I'm happy to answer them. If you give me an idea of your current role at work, I can give you an idea of how you might implement AI at your job. Welcome. My name is Joe. You can call me Solutions Joe. If you have questions, comments regarding AI, drop them in chat. I'm happy to answer them for you. And if you let me know the role you have in your current job, I can help you understand how you might implement AI, given the tools you have available within your role to stand out at work instead of blending in. It's the concept between zebras and elks is what it's referred to. Welcome. If you have questions, comments related to AI, let's chat about it. If you have got a job in which you're trying to figure out how to use AI within that role, let me know what the role is. What do you do at work? And I will give you an idea of how you can implement it. I also give you an idea what your bosses are expecting you to do with it. My name is Joe. I'm a solutions consultant or an architect, and I've been in the business for nearly 30 years. Drop your questions, drop your comments. Let's have a conversation around AI and how to make it your friend instead of your enemy. Let's go. Hello. Drop that comment, drop that question. Let me know. Let me know where you're at. I'm in Chicago.
Stealing every gift. I laugh, lean let a question start again. Prompt dreams.
Questions, comments, drop them in chat. Let's have a conversation. Don't be afraid. I don't bite.
Right place, right time, where do you grow with the graph? I glow when it grabs every limit turning blurry.
Drop your questions, comments.
New work, new play, new kind of golden day. We build, we share, we rise, we dare. Upload the future, let it run through us. I'm staying relevant, riding every update, every rush. Full abundance, call me, yeah. I can feel that flood. Elon, Sam, and Terry West. Upload the future, every breath, new trust. I'm staying relevant, learning every version. That's enough. Full abundance, coming, overflowing in our blood. We're the ones who trade.